Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Eric, which country's iconic dish would win gold in the Olympics?
Ooh, this is a fantastic question. This is a fun one. I like this. Okay. So seeing that it's kind of, density sort of driven, right? You get the countries that win the most, usually have the most, populace, like they have the most amount of people in them. So it's Russia, it's China, it's USA. So I'd say automatically, I think of these three, right? Goulash, I'm thinking dumplings, I'm thinking a burger.
French.
French, yeah, that's right. Steak frites.
Steak frites.
Ooh, steak frites is...
it's Italy.
Italy's pasta.
Okay, who are you going with? Who's winning gold in the Olympics?
I think it's France. I think it's steak frites. You know what though? But that's what my objective mind is saying. But then my heart is going with Ghana. Give me some jollof. Give me some chofi. Speaking of, man, you had a nice little trip to Ghana, at least in your hometown.
Yeah, little Ghana here in Charlotte. Mama G's, shout out to Mama G's. Kobe nice. Over at Mama G's got me a nice chofi and per your recommendation, some Kelewele. How did I pronounce that? Yeah,
you said it better. You said it better than me. Perfect. Yeah, Kelewele.
Delicious. Delicious. So it was so good. It was so,
yeah.
I got to tell you. So chofi is turkey tail, right? Fried turkey tail. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you love chicken wings, this is like the best chicken wing you've ever had. It's bony, it's fatty, it's meaty. I don't know if I was supposed to, but I just ate it like a chicken wing. I didn't eat it with a fork and knife. I just went to town on it. And it's like an oxtail, but like a bird oxtail. It's delicious.
I'm so happy, man. You are honorary Ghanaian now with the way you handle that chofi, because that's exactly how you do it, man. It's just, it's no holds barred. You just go for it, man. And exactly that. You called it perfect. It's fatty. We served chofi at Elmina, and we had a write-up about it, about being way better than chicken nuggets or oxtail. So I love the fact that you called that. Yeah, it's delicious, man. It's so good.
Yeah, it's like a chicken wing mixed with an oxtail. It's so
Perfect.
good.
Yeah.
Great seasoning. My 5-year-old daughter, when I opened up it's only a takeout place. It's Mama G's over there at Beatty's Ford. There's only takeout. I got my food. They've got all these jerseys on the wall. The Charlotte Hornets jersey with Mama G's on the back.
Sweet.
They've got the Ghanaian national football team, soccer, all these jerseys. It's a great spot. And came home, opened it up, and my daughter's sitting there. She goes, "What in the world smells so good?" And so I was like, "Oh, you want to try this kelewele?" And she's like, what is it? I was like, "It's kind of like a fried banana." And she's like, "Awesome." So she tries it and she goes, "Ooh, that's good." And then she grabs her water bottle and just starts chugging. she's like, "That's spicy, Daddy." And of course, a 5-year-old, she hasn't had that kind of spice before. And she was like, "That's spicy, but that's good." And it was, man. And it was huge portions. It was great. So I guess I'm a Ghanaian now. So Greek, American, Ghanaian. This is great. I love it. You know what I'm going with though, Eric? I'm going with pasta. Pasta, Italy. Maybe I'm coming off of this episode in northern Italy, but I feel like pasta is this universal language, spaghetti or any sort of pasta. I feel like it is a comfort food for Earth. I think it's a winner. So I'm going to go with pasta on this one.
So we got pasta as gold. Would you say steak frites silver?
Sure. I'd go burger silver.
You know what? Me too. Yes, good sir. I'm going to burger silver medal, and then the bronze.
This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Tom Haberstroh.
And I'm Eric Ejapong.
Eric, I had to get that Ghanaian food because next week I am going to have the best Ghanaian food on the Eastern Seaboard. It is Elmina, our watch party, our season finale watch party at Pack Your Knives. It is sold out. So I apologize to those who are just finding out about this. Thank you to everyone who has bought tickets. It is a sold out event and we cannot wait to descend upon Elmina there in DC. Thank you for hosting us.
No, man. Thank you for coming up with this idea again, man, a couple of weeks ago. Sold out relatively fast. And I think we knew that. So thank you.
In 3 days. It's sold out in 3 days. That's not relatively fast. Less than a week we sold out.
3 days. That's like a Beyonce concert, bro. That's quick, man. Like that's it. That's it out, man. So big shout out to everyone in local, coming near and far. And we're gonna have a great time, man, watching the last finale with Shwai, with Tristan and Bailey. And it's for all the marbles, man. And it's really cool. I'm so happy to host, get some people into the restaurant. This is a cool opportunity for us to sort of, do something different at the restaurant that we haven't done. So we're prepared, we're ready. And man, I cannot wait. 2 out of 3 to win with Bailey and Tristan. Right now, you knocked one of my guys off in Cesar, but I had fun watching this, man. It's just been last week's episode. We talked about it. I think we waxed poetically. It was one of the best episodes Top Chef has ever done. I put this one up there too, man. It was a great, great episode to see all these chefs making this. I love the format of the Elimination Challenge. I thought that was brilliant.
Sports, baby. Sports are great.
Why not, man? Throw some sports in there and I'm a sucker. Like I'm gonna sop that up. So I had fun watching. The food looked amazing. The judging, the Olympians, the former top chefs. It was all there.
Yeah. Ali Ghazawi. Oh yeah. That's my guy. We'll get into the judges. We're also going to talk risotto with our Substack data scientist extraordinaire, Carly Levitz, is going to join us in a little bit to talk about whether the risotto curse of Top Chef is real or if it's a myth. She's going to run through the history of risotto on the show because we do have risotto in this episode. Right. But first, we're in Milan. I've never been there. Looks beautiful. Yeah. It is the second most populous city in Italy and one of the most populous cities in Europe. About 3.5 million people in the metro area. It is the 5th most Michelin-starred city in the world. I don't actually have the top 5 ahead of me, but I looked at the Wikipedia page for Milan, so it's got to be true. If there is 4 cities that would have more Michelin stars than Milan, I'm guessing Paris,
yes,
New York, and
Paris, New York, maybe somewhere in the Netherlands, Denmark-ish area. You know what? Brazil.
Paris?
Yeah, Paris for sure.
Did I say Paris? I might have said that already. Yeah.
Paris is there.
London? No.
Nah, I wouldn't say.
Maze, do you have a list? Maze, you gotta grab the list here for us because I did a poor job of preparing.
Copenhagen. Yeah, Copenhagen.
That's a great call. My buddies just went to Copenhagen and they sent me a picture of a Charlotte brewery that was serving beer in Copenhagen. So shout out to Resident Culture. Yeah.
I love that.
It's great. Because what I feel like Charlotte or Copenhagen's always been considered the Charlotte of Europe. Put that on the city tagline is either the Copenhagen of the United States or the Charlotte of Europe. How about that? Do you like that?
It's hilarious.
Versace, Armani, Prada, Valentino, Dolce and Gabbana. Do you have any of those in your wardrobe, Eric?
Maybe when I hit restaurant 3 and 4. Not now, man. I'm still going to Kohl's. I'm
gonna go get some like bootleg Dolce and Gabbana at Max, TJ Maxx, or
that's
or
what we
Marshalls.
should have done, man. And you know what? Shout out to the wardrobe as well, because I feel like we're going to Milan. This is one of the fashion capitals in the world. And Schwai and Tristan just looking chic as hell. Did you see the threads that they had on, man? Schwai was looking fresh, sweeping the legs, ready for that. Tristan looked very adorned in his sort of Afro, garb. And man, Bailey was looking great as well. Everyone just looked refreshed. Obviously, Tristan going through a little bit of some life, and having to bury his father, getting back into it. But this was, I remember going to the finale in Macau, for me, was the biggest reset, man. You go home for 2 weeks and you get to see your family. You get to go to the restaurant. You get to sort of like look at your phone and get current events, and really just become a member of society before you have to sort of get quarantined and submit yourself to this insane challenge of Top Chef all over again. But those 2 weeks are just like a breath of fresh air, and you definitely saw it. I think Schwai mentioned, using that time to get back into the restaurant. So he probably wasn't as rested as he could have been, but he stayed in mode, which I think is a great, sort of direction to do and go into. Cesar looked refreshed, man. He looked like he was ready to go. So did Bailey, and then again with Tristan as well. So yeah, those 2 weeks, man, right after leaving Canada, going home to their various places back in the States, and flying out to Milan. Pretty cool. And
they go to the Milan Cathedral right there. That is the largest church in the Italian Republic. St. Peter's Basilica is the largest one kind of in the borders of Italy, but that's Vatican City, its own kind of sovereign state, I guess you want to call it. And so this is a beautiful, enormous cathedral that they got to like be right there in the plaza, which was an amazing backdrop. And Delta One flies them out. They get the Delta One Lounge ad. Delta flies them out, and they get the little ad there to begin the show. Tristan, Bailey, Cesar, and Schwai are out there, and they learn their quick fire is going to be the last one, obviously. Rice and polenta, capital of the world. So we're going to do some risotto, 35 minutes to cook your risotto. And what was interesting, you get $15,000, but they kind of stagger it. So like, Eric, it's every 5 minutes, someone gets to serve their risotto. And first it's Cesar, then Tristan, Bailey, and Schwai. Now, I got to say, in your 2 weeks that you're off, aren't you obviously going to cook some risotto, right? You're going to study up and figure out, once we do risotto in Milan, Northern Italian food, we're going to have to prepare some risotto, right? So
100%. 100%. You're thinking there's polenta, there's risotto, as you mentioned. There's all the Italian sort of, golden hits, right? Those greatest hits of Italian food, so to speak. You got to be able to sort of have your rendition of it. So this should not have come as a surprise to the chefs.
But two of them don't do a risotto dish.
What?
Or they don't use rice. Wild, Eric. This is the finale. You've waited 2 weeks to go to Milan, and everyone is telling you, hey, make sure you study up, make sure you get in the lab and work on all your Italian dishes. And they go in to cook for Tom Colicchio with no rice and risotto. Like, whoa.
What?
And of course Cesar does it, but like even Schwai, I'm like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
It's right there. It's the dish is in the name, ladies and gentlemen, or in this case, gentlemen. Schwai and Cesar going totally avant-garde with this. And I get it to be cheeky. This is not quick fire episode 2 or 3. This is the finale's quick fire, man. You got to follow the directions of the challenge to the letter of the law and make a damn rice dish. It shouldn't be hard, man. You could have definitely incorporated some of those beautiful, ingredients, with Cesar using the celery root, with Schwai going with the squash risotto and the chanterelles. I mean, that sounds delicious in a classic risotto, right? Why not just add those elements into it? Why do you have to zig when it's an obvious zag that they want you to just stay in? That sort of troubled me. It bothered me a little bit. I got to be honest.
Yeah. Cesar was the first one up. Celery root with chicken jus and truffle. Lots of questions at the judges table. Like they're asking him like, what, why? And he's just explaining, I just want to do something different. That's how kind of outside the box thinking that I am, which true to himself, very outside the box. But I also think this was kind of foreshadowing later in the episode. We'll get into that. Cesar just kind of doing too much, or kind of just a little too outside the box sometimes. And Tristan comes in second on the little conveyor belts of chefs. So he comes in with his jollof rice with umami flavors, buttered greens. This by far would have been the thing that I ordered, not just because I am now a Ghanaian,
officially Ghanaian,
citizen. But this looked awesome. And how proud were you seeing this dish?
Well, your passport and your state ID, your country ID is in the mail right now, man. But I was extremely proud. It's funny. I've done a jollof risotto as one of the first dishes, outside of college. So to see that, represented from another brilliant Afro-Caribbean chef, I was just like, man, remember that really old commercial of that, like the Native American, the indigenous man with a tear in his eye when someone threw the trash out? That's literally was me, man. It's like the single tear just kind of just flown from my eye when I saw that. I'm like, yes, sir, go for it.
Yeah.
And he did it, man. And it looked absolutely delicious. It looked coaxed. I love that was my favorite part, man. That using the word coaxed, because that's literally what risotto is. You want that sort of clinginess of the starch to the rice and still cooking the rice to a toothsome al dente. And it looked like he textbook just sort of hit it out the park while adding in these beautiful West African flavors, which is hard to do, man. You want to, with risotto, it takes time, but then the jollof rice and that stew with the blended peppers and ginger and garlic and onions, man, it's like a marinara sauce. The better it tastes, the longer it cooks, the better it tastes. And you really want to develop those beautiful flavors. And it looks like he was able to do that in a short amount of time and offer a really delicious dish. A little touch of pecorino at the end. I mean, why not? We're in Rome. You do the Romans do. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, he said, I made black people risotto and won. So he did it. He did the thing. So the textures were right. They really enjoyed that one. So Bailey did the red wine risotto with the Parmigiano, hazelnut, and pear gremolata. This one was, I think, the most traditional, I guess you'd say. Like a red wine risotto seems like, of all the ones that we saw in this episode, it felt like it was fairly, I wouldn't say conventional, but it was nice, as they said, but it was a little too sour. And so it just didn't get the right balance of flavors. Shawai, he played it too early, right? So like he did that riceless risotto with butternut squash, chanterelles, saffron, Parmesan, and toasted hazelnuts. Dude, I got a question for you. Can you can you just serve the risotto? Like, can you just like walk over there and be like, I've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Can I just like give this to you? I feel like that was kind of unfair. I feel like that was, you got to play to the clock. Like
you have to play the clock, bro. I mean, you got to think it's not just the dish itself. It's a whole reset with the cameras and everyone else that's involved with this dish. Like they staggered it for a reason. So you had that extra time, man. This is plenty of time for you to edit if there needs to be, taste your food, adjust seasonings at the last minute. But Shwai just looked very confident with the wrong dish. I thought that was hilarious. I also thought when you just said a riceless risotto, because it's the biggest oxymoron. A riceless risotto is what we got from 2 out of the 4 chefs in the finale, the quick fire. I'm pretty sure Tom looked like he was peeved.
Big time. Big mad. Yeah, he was big mad.
Big mad. He was. He held it. You know what, man, with Tom and I guess this elder statesman, if this was like Top Chef, maybe season, 14, 10, you know what I mean? One of those back in the day seasons, man, he probably would have blown up just a little bit more. But now that we've gotten like grandfather Tom, he's got a little bit more sort of calmness, a little bit more timeliness to his anger, right, and his temperament. But still, all in all, man, as the head judge of an illustrious show, he's like, bro, the dish is in the name. Cook the dish.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that they went 2 weeks before Milan and decided to not do a rice dish for the risotto or rice-based risotto.
I don't get it.
But it's a quick fire. So I guess if you're going to do something risky, there's no cost in a quick fire, right? You just have the upside.
Man. Yeah, there's $15,000. That's the cost. Like, you want to win some money. Like, you're not cooking just for like the S and G's, man. You're cooking for a little cash, a little bit of momentum heading into the elimination round. And as you said it, man, we can talk about it an hour later. Like, it was definitely like a crestfallen moment for Cesar because it foreshadowed like this. You know, we love Cesar for his sort of off the cuff, really avant-garde cooking. I feel like Cesar R&D's a new dish every single episode and has gotten him all the way to the finale. But this was not the time to really make that happen. Like you mentioned, 2 weeks, you have plenty of time, you know, to gather ingredients, gather your thoughts, make a perfect sort of dish that represents you, represents where you're from. And he dropped the ball in multiple ways, man. I was really sad personally because he's off my team and we've given you a schwai, but man, Cesar, I wanted you to go out a little bit harder than that.
What would you have done, risotto?
I literally would have done the jollof, easy. That's like, again, a dish that I've done before. Man, I can go in my archives and pull that dish out in a couple of different photos, man. And is it just
you have to really beat it to hell to just get the flavors, the starch out and try to... You just
it's one of those dishes. Yeah, legit. It's one of those dishes where you can't necessarily leave the stovetop. You know, you need to be there. You need to just baby it, and sort of the more you beat into it and you really work those starches and really release a lot of that starch, the more texture and velvet sort of texture, mouthfeel that it has, and the better it tastes, you know. And then you finish with a little bit of mascarpone or maybe a little bit of creme fraiche, or, you know, we're in Italy, so some Italian cheese would have been beautiful for that as well. And you serve the dish, man. It's simple, but it's humble. And then when it's done right, man, you're literally getting a simple, humble dish. Obviously, you're putting your own spin to it. So the jollof rice would have been my sort of, or the jollof sauce rather, would have been my play on it. I thought Tristan did exactly what Tristan would have done. Let me say that. Yeah.
So he wins the 15K. He adds another quickfire win to his ledger. So in this season of Top Chef, he has 4 elimination challenge wins, and his second quickfire has only been in the bottom once, and it came, you know, late in the season. So, you know, when you put him against Shuai, he's got more elimination challenge wins, the same number of quickfires, and much fewer in the bottom. So very he's throwing perfect game out here.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right. That's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS. Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Carly Levitz joining us for the risotto breakdown. Carly, our Substack extraordinaire, you have done an amazing job breaking down Top Chef all throughout the season. Your data has been amazing. Your analysis, fantastic. We wanted to bring you in here in this finale part 1 when they're doing a risotto dish. Carly, welcome to the program. Eric, she's here. We get to ask her, pepper all these questions on risotto on Top Chef.
Carly, I absolutely love what's going on, Carly. Good to see you.
You too.
I absolutely love the work that you've been putting in, your analysis for each and every episode and everything that's been happening with Top Chef. It's just so fun to watch, and it really gives a lot of texture and context to the show. And I feel like I'm amongst 2 amazing statisticians right now, so I'm going to step aside and let Carly and Tom sort of nerd out a little bit.
Carly, you've done your homework on the history of risotto on Top Chef, and we have another doozy in this one, which our lips are sealed. Okay. We won't reveal too much to you, but I want to hear historically, Carly, is the curse of risotto real, or do you think it's more of a myth?
So,
and hey, Kat.
Hey,
hello.
Kat. It's real. It is. I don't have data on dishes for all of the seasons yet. I'm just making my way through. I probably have 7 complete seasons, like 1, 2, 3, 16, 20, 21, 22. But so I was looking at when the dishes were in the top versus the bottom. So, for example, something that's been sort of even, give or take, is dishes like crudo and aguachile and leche de tigre, like the raw fish preparations. There's been like 80 plus that I've looked at so far, and 39% of those ended up in the top of whatever challenge they were in, and 34 ended in the bottom. So, it leans a little positive, but it is a little bit of a wash. And, we can see how it looks when I have all of the seasons. Okay, so keep in mind, 39% positive, 34% negative. Okay, risotto, 16% were in the top. So if it's good, it's good.
Right.
60% were in the bottom.
Oh, man.
So there were 25 dishes that I looked at. So
4 times as many in the bottom than there in the top.
Yes. So the curse is real. You got to, I mean, with whatever's coming in the episode, there's going to guarantee someone wins a challenge on a risotto, right? But I was pretty shocked. That was the first one I did. And I was like, well, I don't know. It's real. And then I wanted to look into the curse of the duo and the trio,
Right.
and the 3 ways and the 2 ways. So I had about 40 of those, and it's a little bit better, but that curse is still definitely a thing where 44% of those dishes end up at the bottom.
Okay. But still, the risotto
60.
is 60% of risotto dishes are in the bottom. And how many were eliminated? Do you have that? How many people have gone home with risotto?
28%. So, a couple.
Yeah.
Of the 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
well, those numbers technically get boosted, right, with the last episode, because we know we have 4 chefs cooking risotto. One is going to win. So we have a 75% chance of a loser, essentially, or 3 chefs not winning with the risotto. So those numbers sort of get a little bit of a boost, so to speak.
If it's in a quick fire, there's no eliminated chef. Carly, how did you handle that? If you did a risotto in a quick fire, right? There's a bottom and a top, but there's not going to be an eliminated chef in a quick fire.
Right. I didn't yet look at that. That's a really great nuance. But so that's why I was looking at the top and the bottom, because that would cover both quick fire and elimination. I mean, doing a risotto. So I will say one of the ones I was trying to last minute data collection this morning. I was watching. It was season 8. Season 10, someone made a risotto foam. So that's included in this. So there's still a lot of nuances in the data where it needs to be teased out. And I think looking more closely at quickfire versus elimination, and then perhaps removing ones like risotto foam will change things slightly, but I mean, it's not going to change that the vast majority end up at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Eric, can you answer for us just why you think it's so hard to do risotto well on Top Chef?
Timing. Number one, it's timing. It's the time that it takes. Risotto is a dish meant to be eaten immediately. When it stays on a plate a little bit longer than it needs to, then it solidifies, it seizes up, and you're not getting that velvety sort of custard-like texture. It's not coasting, right, as nicely as it should, because the heat is a huge factor into sort of the presentation of the dish. And a lot of the times when risotto is presented on Top Chef, people forget there's a transfer time, right? Getting one dish to the judges. There's cameras that need to rotate. There's one time where even on my season, we had to cook a dish on the bottom floor of this tall building. And then, the judges were all the way on the opposite or on the top of the floor. So we're in the elevator with our food as it's getting colder and colder by the second. And none of this is helping out, a dish that's supposed to be eaten hot immediately. So I'd say timing is the biggest issue. Second one, I would say, is just not getting the texture right. Risotto, it's such a subjective dish. One thing that you definitely objectively have to have is just rice cooked thoroughly, right? But some people like a little bit of an al dente. Some people like a little bit more of a softer texture. So who you're serving really depends, and it's so subjective. So I think it's just one of those dishes to stay away from. It's great to cook for your folks at home when you can serve them immediately and sort of impress them that way. But when you're in competition, there's just too many variables that sort of work against the dish specifically.
Carly, do you have... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I just had a follow-up question, Eric. Something else that I was thinking about, and I mean, I'm a home cook, so I have the luxury of just standing in my kitchen. Like last night, I was there for 2 hours making this, that, and the other thing. But with risotto, I kind of stand there and stay there, right?
Yeah.
And is that the way that risotto is supposed to be made, and with all of the different accoutrement that Top Chef folks are trying to put on their dishes, does that factor in as well with how it's cooked?
That's a great call, Carly. I think, yes, it's one of those dishes, as I was taught in culinary school, that you have to baby, you have to stand by it, and continue to sort of whisk and agitate the rice to sort of release the starch and within the rice and get that sort of glutinous mouthfeel. But then to your point, Carly, this is Top Chef, you got to add some things, you got to add some flair. There has to be some accoutrements to it. And how often do you get to sort of go shop and maybe work on another side project or, an element or a component to the dish while you have to literally be there stirring the entire time. You need two people, you gotta, it's a dish. If you're going to do on Top Chef successfully, if timing wasn't an issue, probably best suited for a team challenge. One person can focus on the pickling element or the vegetable or whatever it is that you want to sort of add that flair to, while the other chef is literally toasting the rice, sautéing the onions or shallots, and then sort of slowly adding in your stock, and then meticulously adding in that final touch of cheese or some sort of heavy creams to sort of give a little bit more, bolster that mouthfeel, so to speak. So it's one thing that either you have 3 arms, 4 arms, or you just don't do. I wouldn't suggest it. It's a kiss of death. This is literally why they staggered the challenge with this one specifically. And Carly, I know you haven't seen the episode yet, but I think without sort of spoiling anything, they had to stagger the challenge to give chefs essentially a 5-minute grace period to cook and then serve immediately. So everyone is not serving risotto right away. Exactly. Everyone's not serving risotto at the same time, because if you eat out of the 4 dishes, dish number 1, risotto number 1, and then immediately go to risotto number 4 after having, 2 more dishes in between, risotto 4 is going to be cold and not the way that the chef intended.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been really impressed with how thoughtful production seems to be in those sorts of things. I've been following a few of the production team on Instagram, and I remember in Restaurant Wars, I think it was T who showed all the different staggering of how it was going to be done, and it just looked so complicated. And I'm like, that is amazing project management meets chef knowledge.
Totally. Yeah. It's Tetris on their part. They've got to make sure that everyone has, the best opportunity to cook their best food. And I mean, also got to give, it really is Tetris. You're thinking about the judges and sort of how much they're eating at once. You're thinking about the chefs and what they're cooking immediately. Again, there's camera repositioning, there's audio team that needs to change batteries. There's a whole bunch of other things that are happening behind the scenes that focus on obviously allowing these chefs to cook the best food with timing in regard, and with, ingredients and temperature in regard. Cooking making an ice cream on Top Chef back in the day was probably a lot harder than it is now, right? Because there was trial and error. They probably didn't know what they didn't know, seasons 1, 2, and 3 versus, season 22, where they've sort of done all of this and they've seen all these dishes sort of come to pass, and they know how to handle it. You're right.
Carly, any other risotto related notes that you have to share with us?
I don't. I think I'm going to go back and look at, how folks do with risotto on team challenge versus an individual challenge. And then looking at, to your point, Eric, about having all those extra hands. And then I'll look at quick fire versus elimination. So I think I'll probably be doing a little companion piece to go with the podcast this week.
I love that.
I have a homework assignment for next week. I would love your research brain to figure out, do hot chefs fare better than cold chefs? Is momentum real going into the finale? So the last week, would you rather be super hot going into the finals, or does momentum matter? Is it your overall score in the Carly Levitz scoring system is the most correlated to winning Top Chef, your total season-long score? Is it the last 5 episodes? Does any of that matter? Is it purely strike while it's hot? Just perform when the lights are brightest. Doesn't matter if you've been on a hot streak. Doesn't matter what you've done in weeks 1 through 6. So I'd be curious, Carly, do you have any hypotheses based on your studying of Top Chef and your scholarly work so far, whether you think the overall score is more predictive or maybe your recent performances?
I think recent. The thing that pops to mind is first episode. I was thinking Cesar and Vinny were going to go really, really far. And they did, but I'm not. So Vinny is not in the top 4. I don't know how far Cesar gets from Final 4, but he does feel sort of hit or miss. Like when he creates these flavor combinations, it's like amazing, but then sometimes it's really weird. So yeah, I guess Vinny comes to mind. So if you're good in the first 2 episodes, maybe it doesn't matter as much. And so it's funny you bring this up, Tom. I was actually looking into this over the past couple of weeks, trying to find what that inflection point is.
Oh yeah,
where it becomes more predictive. So stay tuned.
Awesome. I love this. Eric, any last thoughts while we have Carly here? Before we let you go?
Just praise, Carly. Your work is fantastic. I can't even imagine how much hours that you've logged in of just watching Top Chef and pausing and detailing and writing and all of that sort of qualitative and quantitative data that you have for us. So it definitely boosts the integrity of the podcast, and it's just fun to watch and putting it all together. So cheers to you. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much, Eric. It's really wonderful to meet you. And if I ever get back over to the East Coast, I know where I'm going first.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely. Love it.
Carly Levitz, thanks for joining us. And I can't wait for your thoughts on this week's episode. So this is going to be great. Carly, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Carly.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.
Listener, listen up. This is important. Okay. I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
The 3-part head-to-head tournament. I was a little confused by the framework here or the format, but the way it works is the 4 chefs will go head to head to head to head, And the winner of the first round, which is going to be the polenta round, they are done. They are moving on to the finale. And so whoever wins that round gets the most votes by the judging panel. That it features Olympians and Paralympians. We've got Alana Myers-Taylor, who is paired up with Tristan. Red Gerard, who is a snowboarder, paired up with Bailey. By the way, Alana Myers-Taylor, she's a bobsledder. Declan Farmer is a sled hockey Paralympian. He gets paired up with Shuai, and Oksana Masters. Talk about her strategies in the shop. She's paired up with Cesar. She is a 19-time medalist, and get this, biathlon, cross-country skiing, cycling, and rowing. Yo.
That's impressive AF. Like, you're 19, so you clearly had to like clean sweep 2 seasons at least, 2 tours.
None of those are like the same event. It's cycling, skiing, and rowing. Like, all very different sports. And
are triathletes, are these the most athletic people in the world?
The Paralympians, you're saying?
Paralympians, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, think about meddling in those different sports. It's not even like a decathlon where she's okay at a bunch of different things.
Exactly.
She was meddling in those individual events, which is impressive. Is biathlon is the shooting one, right? Skiing and shooting. Is that? Do I have that right?
Yes, I believe so. Maze, please confirm.
Maze has also listed the top 5 most medaled Michelin-starred cities in the world. He's got Kyoto, Antwerp, Osaka, and Lyon. Lisbon, per capita. Per capita is interesting.
Okay. All right.
Charlotte's not on there? Okay. All right. Otherwise, it's mostly Asia. So he's saying pure volume, it's Asian countries is going to be the winner there. So I'm guessing Milan is not per capita. I'm sure that one is just... biathlon. Yeah, he tells me biathlon is correct. This is great podcasting here. Okay, what did you think about this pairing up with the athletes, and they are going to judge the first 2? They're going to be judges on the first 2 cooks. Round 1 is polenta, round 2 is beets, and round 3 is gorgonzola. The winner of the first round, the polenta round, gets to just like chill. They're already moving on. The winner of the second round gets to chill, doesn't have to do the third round. And then it's a head-to-head, one-on-one. Whoever did not win the first 2 rounds has to go and play for the finale next week. So the way to integrate the athletes was interesting. They're like kind of shopping buddies. They're paired up and they get coaching, like inspiration, and they get another shopping buddy. They also are part of the judges panel. I found this to be interesting. Eric, did you notice that on the first judges panel, each one of the pairings voted for their pair?
They did. I did see that. Absolutely. Good call. I was going to bring that up. They absolutely did.
Yeah. Because I was like, ooh, aren't they just going to vote for their teammate? Because they're there's a conflict of interest here. Yeah.
A conflict of interest there, and I noticed that immediately. I actually went back in the show and sort of double clicked to make sure I saw what I was seeing. So it is what it is, I guess. You kind of expect that. I'm sure that the producers expected that as well. But this sort of format of the 3 rounds reminded me very similarly to my, finale. And it was sort of in reverse, though. Like the first round, whoever had the least successful dish went home immediately, which was me. And then, it left KBC, Kelsey Bernard-Clark, and then Sarah Bradley to duke it out for the 2 finale spots. So I liked it. I really did. I enjoyed it. I thought the pairing of the Olympian Paralympians as well was a really fun twist. It's cool when you have someone as dedicated to their craft, sort of game recognizing game, so to speak, and someone really seeing themselves in you in a different format. Very often, chefs, we like to go to a concert, go to a museum, go to, some other a form or medium of art to sort of get inspiration. And I think that's exactly what happened here. We heard a very great line, pressure is a privilege, and Tristan sort of took that and ran home with it. And it's absolutely true. When you have this sort of like weight on you, so to speak, as an athlete would, or as a chef competing in Top Chef for the finale, there's a little bit of, I got to get this right. I got to do this. I got to do it well. But some people will use it and sort of buckle, and then other people will use it as fuel. And I love the fact that you can have, these amazing athletes at the top of their game sort of give a little bit of push and inspiration at the very end of a cook. You can't imagine. All three chefs are probably exhausted, even with the 2 weeks in between. You're getting back in the swing of things and you're really tired. It's been a long season. So any sort of additive push, verbal sort of positive reinforcement is going to be really good. And I love the fact that they had those, athletes to help them out with it.
It was great. And Bailey on brand just told her partner, I just want emotional support. Can you just be my hype man?
Bailey. You know what? I've had so much fun watching Bailey cook this season. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She does so well, and she's not afraid to tell you literally what it is. Like, hey, I'm not feeling this right now. Like, there's no like hiding with this. Like, I'm nervous. I'm panic shopping, or I've never cooked this way before. Like, let's see what happens. And then she always pulls through. So she has been such a joy, and I'm happy that she's on my team, and I'm happy that she's, made it through this season. Probably the most like the biggest gauntlet of making it to the finale through Last Chance Kitchen, and then to the finale of the, of Top Chef. It's an incredible journey for her. And I'm really glad that she's able to sort of, we have a little bit more screen time with Bailey.
Mm-hmm. She wants someone to Titanic her. If you have no context to this, it might be a weird line.
You're not old enough for this podcast if that's the case.
She wanted on the rooftop in Milan at the Radisson Blu Hotel. She had a couple glasses of wine, it seemed, and she just said, I want someone to Titanic me. And that, I don't think anyone stepped up. I feel like they bailed. They were like, you know what? Shuai, Cesar, and Tristan were like, you know what? You do you. And she just got up on the side of that. That's when Jack says, I'm king of the world. And you know what, Bailey? I don't think she said I'm king or I'm queen of the world. She didn't. I don't think anyone did it with her. And I felt bad because she was in her moment. She was vibing. She was ready to go.
Yeah.
And
they bailed on Bailey.
What do you remember from the night before your finale cook? Do you remember everyone was going to sleep early and they were trying to rest up? Were they up all night because of it, just antsy? Were you in your notebook nonstop, just workshopping? Do you remember where your vibes were the night before the finale?
We all were. This was probably the first time we had open notes. So we shared the same floor, Kelsey, Sarah, and myself. And we all sort of got, I think we were in we all sort of got together in my living room, and we ordered literally everything off the menu for room service. I remember that. Like, we racked up the bill: champagne, caviar, the whole charcuterie board, everything that they had. They brought it up, and the first time that we shared notes, because it's the finale. It's kind of like, the last round of poker. Like, you don't have to have a poker face. Like, this is what I'm cooking, and we're not changing anything. This is it. This is the last cook. So we sort of talked to each other about our dishes, and we stayed up all night just talking food and reminiscing about an amazing season. Talking family, talking about like, are you staying in Macau? Are you going to China? Are you going to mainland? So we had a lot of camaraderie talk, and it was a great night. I remember that very vividly. It's unlike any other feeling. You have the night before one of the biggest cooks, if not the biggest cook of your life, is happening, and all eyes are on you, and you got to go for it. So you're sort of going through your dishes. And it was just a really cool moment to have, without cameras around, and just sort of shoot the shit with the ladies. And man, it's a great feeling. So I can imagine for them as well, the night before, being able to sort of do that, get into that beautiful hotel room and just sort of just get together and talk food and talk about the highs and lows of the season. If you're Tristan, mostly highs. And
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you remember if it was an early morning the next day, or was it an afternoon
it was
night
maybe
cook?
Yeah, it was an afternoon where it was maybe probably about like, I think we left probably around 10:30, 11
Okay.
for an afternoon cook, and we wrapped up. Well, I'm not sure when they wrapped up specifically, but no. Yeah, we wrapped up because they announced the winner. Everyone came out, and it was maybe like 7 p.m. or so, and then we all just got wasted. All of us, Nene, Brian, all of us, David was there. We all just got together and celebrated Kelsey, champagne in hand, walking through the aisles of the MS. Man, what was the hotel? We were just going through, honestly, Macau, just walking through every spot, letting it be known that we just finished an incredible season of Top Chef. And then we parted ways soon after, man. It was a crazy 48 hours. I definitely remember that.
In your LA All-Stars season, when you were eliminated, they had this little confessional about you going to Last Chance Kitchen. Do you remember what pressure line you said? Like pressure, you were excited to go to Last Chance Kitchen. I was just watching this because I was for my notes. You said, pressure makes diamonds. I'm ready to go to Last Chance Kitchen. So it feels like, you and Alana, who said pressure is a privilege, similar thing is you want that pressure. That's a good sign that you're facing all this pressure. Said pressure makes diamonds. Pressure is a privilege. And they go into this polenta round. I love seeing the judges. So we got not just Ali Ghazawi, who was on the last All-Star season, World All-Stars, the North African Middle East champion and Top Chef, and also the finalist from the World All-Stars. He was great to see him. He was on the board along with the guy Andrea Aprea, who is a 2 Michelin star chef from Italy. So he is also on the board. And then you also have the 4 Paralympians and Olympians out there on that kind of thing. And I remembered as soon as they were doing this, like the piazza, wherever the plaza that they were at, it looked hot, which meant that Cesar, buddy, my man, doing ice cream as an appetizer when it's 1,000 degrees outside in the summer of Milan, I kind of feel like that was a poor choice for him to do, even though it was inventive, as Cesar tends to do.
Yeah,
you have the opportunity to make a one and done. Like, I am done with this dish if I nail it, and he did an ice cream for that. What are your thoughts on Cesar doing an ice cream dish there?
You know what? I'm going to answer this question with the response that Bailey said towards the end of the last round, where she said, if I'm going to go home, I'd rather go home for a dish that I love. And I think this is just in regards to Cesar. He's going home with the style of cooking and sort of approach that he loves. He's off the cuff. He's avant-garde, man. Some dishes, and Tom mentioned this before, like some dishes are just insanely good. And some dishes could be left on the cutting room floor. You don't have to pick that up again. So Cesar going with this black walnut ice cream, I think it was maybe one of those times where you just have a dish locked in your head and you don't want to necessarily let it go. He knew he wanted to use those black walnuts from back home in a way with the liquid nitrogen. It was, honestly, man, I personally thought, looking at the screen, looking at the description, that he wouldn't be, that was like a dish that might win. Because I thought it looked delicious. It looked good. I thought it was a cool dish, but clearly not enough to bring him into the last round, not enough to bring him a victory rather. But unfortunately, this is the way he cooks.
I had an issue with it because I just felt like it was the right dish for a different climate, different time. And if it was the third course, I would have been like, absolutely. But the first course, when you're outside with the other dishes, I just thought that it was maybe too clever by half. One thing on Cesar, I want to say here, he does the polenta cake with black walnut ice cream. It was a little too heavy and dry, but he does have Oksana. Oksana is his pairing, the Paralympian who is the 19-time medalist, and she doesn't really know all that in terms of cooking or in terms of she doesn't speak Italian. So that seemed to be a big thing in this shop is like, what does this even mean? I can't read this. One thing she does, which is smart, is she decides to play defense. She tries to go out there and distract Tristan, distract others in the shop, kind of going on a little bit of a guerrilla warfare, is just getting into the weeds, into the trenches, and trying to distract the opponent. I appreciated that from Oksana. Clearly competitive if she's got that in her to say, you know what? If I can't be of value in this area, I am going to definitely find a place where I can provide value. And she just asked Tristan, like, do you have a dog? Do you like dogs? I thought that was great. So
she was great.
Bailey, she's the one with the creamy polenta with cheese, mushroom. And again, seemed like it was more of the traditional side, but this is what the chefs, they want their best polenta dish. And she gets 2 votes for hers. Andrea really liked it. Cesar gets 1 vote, and Tristan gets one vote for his cuckoo, his cornmeal porridge with sauce, very spicy Haitian sauce that he did. When he tasted it, Eric, I got really nervous. I was like, uh-oh. It's even too, he was coughing. It was hot. Yeah. Like he was like, oh. What are your thoughts on his decision to add that? It seemed like a green pepper, a long, thin pepper that he said, which seemed quite spicy on the Scoville scale.
Yeah, he, as if you remember during the shop, he was looking for habaneros or Scotch bonnets rather. And he couldn't find that in Italy. Hence, it's probably not going to be in Italy. So he gets probably, what he equates to be the next hottest thing. And clearly took his palate by surprise, man. Watching a chef sort of cough at their own food, and then watching a judge, Gail, sort of do that as well. And it was just, I think, emphasis on the heat, because she asks, like, hey, did you want this to be spicy? And then immediately, almost like forcefully coughs, right? To just sort of invoke the I was like, oh, this is over
poor
for him.
Tristan, man.
I was like, this guy's not making it through. You got to just focus on the next round. But man,
I got to do that post on Pack Your Knives. I got to do on the Substack. I got to do 5 worst things to hear on judges' table. A cough is got to be one, right?
A cough is one. Watching a chef, watching a judge take a bone out of their mouth or something that they didn't like, that's another. That one hits because that's visual. You know what I mean?
What about the question, is this how you wanted it to taste? Were you happy with your... That's a tough question to get. Were you happy with your protein?
Sometimes that question comes in as a surprise, though, because they actually want to make sure that they're it's good, right? So I do that often with my chefs at the restaurant. Actually, I do it so much that it probably has lost its luster. When I see a dish, when a chef cooks a dish perfectly, and I kind of almost question, who made this? Who did this? And there's everyone's sort of like, oh man, did I mess up? And then I praise them this is fantastic. Well done. So it kind of goes both ways, right? You want to make sure that you keep them on their toes. But yeah, that can go both ways.
Did you mean to bank this in, or was that did you just miss the shot and it happened to go off the backboard?
Exactly. Oh, right. Exactly.
Because I do think another one. Have you cooked this before?
Ooh, I don't want to hear that.
Don't want to hear that. Have you ever cooked this dish before? It's not if the response is, the immediate response is, I don't know if they've actually cooked this before. That's not a good one to hear on judges' table. I feel like that's a bad one.
Yeah. So Tristan getting the cough, the very audible cough from Gail, that immediately told me that he needs to cook and get his mind ready for the second round.
Bailey did something here to Tristan that I think we have to talk about. Is she had all the grill to herself, and Tristan was like, yo, can I get some of that grill space? And she's like, oh, I thought you were done. And then you see Tristan trying to get his mackerel toasted and getting his pork belly grilled, but then he has to deep fry his pork belly just to get it cooked and get some sort of cook on his pork belly. Shouts to Bailey. Didn't think she had it in her to strategically, whether or it was accidental. I don't think it may not been intentional, but it wasn't oh, sorry, let me get all my stuff over here. Tristan, I am so sorry. She was like, nah, you should have been here first.
I got this. I'll take a word from you. Sharp elbows, man. She kind of just claimed some territory and pushed Tristan out the way. And I'm like, you know what, Bailey? Hell yeah, do it. Like, this is the finale. We have no time to be, buddy, kiki and ha-ha and amongst each other's, amongst the chefs. Like, we're playing for all the marbles here. How do you say marbles in Italian?
Well, I would ask Massimo that question, but he's not here.
Too soon.
Schwai, roasted barbecue duck. 4 judges loved this dish. The Top Chef judges loved this dish, and Ali voted for him as well. Great polenta. The duck on top was fantastic. Schwai wins this episode. He also doesn't have to do anything. He's just off to the side. He's chilling.
Oh, nice.
And that seemed more painful than actually competing. Eric, do you get PTSD if you're on the other side of the table and you're just watching them? Like, are you good?
That's the best position to be in. He probably was just fudging it. He was just hamming it up. Oh man, I'm sweating bullets. This is so much tougher than it is. No, it's not, Schwai. Shut the heck up. You've won. Take your victory and sit down. Like, go. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have to cook 2 more rounds. The pressure of thinking about the dish and all the random elements that could happen that can go wrong, like, they're out of your hands. You did the best thing that you could have done by winning the first round. You're going. It's a direct pass to the finale, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't buy that whatsoever.
No. Didn't buy it. You know what? He should just be happy he didn't have to do the gorgonzola pastry dish, that he only had 1 croissant to do a whole entire pastry dish with gorgonzola.
He sat down when he got his name picked and he was walking towards his chair. I'm pretty sure he was smiling at literally thanking the heavens, thanking the gods, and sat down and then put on a face like, oh man, this is so tough. I wish I could have been there. No, you couldn't. No, you wouldn't. Stop it.
Second round, beets. 30 minutes to cook your beet dish. Shout out to Macchiolina in Miami, my favorite beet dish, the beet-filled mezzaluna pasta dish that Mike Perello does, Nina Compton's protege. Love the beet-filled mezzaluna. It's also, in Northern Italy, this is a dish that they inspired this round for the elimination challenge. Just want to give a quick shout out to Macchiolina, one of my favorite restaurants in the world. Love that place, and I still think about it. They do Bailey does a grilled beets with brown butter, caper vinaigrette, and whipped ricotta. How did you cook this? Was asked at the judges table. I think Kristen said it was a little too cheese forward, not polenta forward, or not beet forward. Sorry. And she got an offer. She went offer, didn't get a single vote for her on this round. Cesar did a beet tostada with chipotle mayo and salsa verde. He kind of knew it, where he didn't get to dry the tortilla enough and was a little worried about how it would cook. It was a little on the greasy side, they said, and hoped that they would have gotten a little thicker beet. It felt a little thin. And he got 3 votes from Andrea. Oksana, his girl, his pairing, voted for him, as well as Red. Very confusing. Red did not have red hair. It was Declan who had red hair. And I was hoping that Declan would be paired up with Bailey, because then we would have gotten Team Red, and instead we got Declan, the farmer, the bilateral amputee, who I did not know what sled hockey was. I am familiar with it now, and I've watched some sled hockey this morning to kind of get up to speed on this, and it as if it wasn't hard enough to ski. This is like incredibly challenging, it looks like, and it was awesome to watch. So sled hockey, very, very exciting. Declan gets to see Schwai win in the first round, and he votes for Tristan on this one with his grilled beets and pickles and pork belly. Despite Bailey taking a lot of the real estate on that grill, Tristan just crushed this one out of the park, got 6 votes. All the 4 judges, Elena and Declan, voted for him. Even though he had to deep fry his pork belly, it was a flawless dish, very well thought out and executed. A pork belly that you deep fry, Eric, is that a bad thing? Is that something that execution-wise is not really that much of a speed bump when you're cooking that sort of dish?
Beats by Tristan. No, it's not technically. I think he got a little bit of a cook from the grill, and I think he just transferred it over to the fryer. So he might have just done like a dual sort of cook method with that. I deep fry the pork belly at the restaurant. It lends to a beautiful exterior that's even, versus doing it in a pan. Everything is kind of cooking at the same rate, same time. You do run the risk of getting like an underdone sort of center of the pork belly, but you have to be very temperamental on how you cut it and how large the size is, which I think it was very bite-sized, as I remember and think about his dish, which looked absolutely stunning. The glazed beets, that beet puree, the pickles with the beets. Man, this guy is
very
good.
Gregory Gourdet.
Extremely Gregory Gourdet for sure. And shout out to the little foreshadowing as well, as Gregory was going to be making an appearance in the finale, which is exciting. One of my favorite chefs of all time right now, of all time, period. Gregory's the man. And again, that beets, pickles, spicy. Still, doubling down on the spice. Pickles in itself is a Haitian sort of cabbage slaw condiment that has a good amount of spice to it. And, he went in with it, which I can imagine is earthy, acidic, a little bit of spice as well. So it obviously pairs well with the glazed beets and that smoked beet. So just different elements and complexities to this dish that sound absolutely and looked absolutely delicious.
You know what looked absolutely stunning too is the cartwheel. Did you catch the Tristan cartwheel?
Oh my goodness.
Yo.
Who says big man can't move? That was
his cartwheel, his core must be super cartwheels are not easy, man.
They're not.
And it looks like he's done a few cartwheels in his day. That didn't look like me out there. That was an Olympian athlete right there. He brought it. Did not see that coming. A man of many talents. Dare I say a Renaissance man. He is in Italy. He is showing that he's Leonardo da Vinci out there. He can do anything you ask him to. He is fantastic guy, fantastic chef, and also low-key athlete right there. So great job on the cartwheel. Love to see that. He joins Shuai because he wins this one. And we have the two top scorers of the season going into the finale. We have to decide who's going to get that third one. As Bailey says, this is the Chi-Town throwdown.
That's right.
Cesar, North Pond, and Bailey is going to have this head-to-head on the Gorgonzola, and she does the unthinkable. Her redemption arc this entire season, she is Mrs. Redemption. She is, don't count me out. I'm going to do something that you don't think I should do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And she does the bruleed Gorgonzola on top of that polenta cake, that crispy polenta cake. This gratinaccia dish that she did with the bruleed, she gets out the little gun and she does it. Eric, the stones, the gall.
Can I have a second just to talk about this for a minute? The stones, like you mentioned, the gall, the audacity in the most like pleasant, in the most endearing way that I can think of. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, Bailey, this could be one of the most fatalist flaws in Top Chef history. You're going back into a well that was dry. Like there was no water for it. Last week or 2 weeks ago when you did this dish, this brulee, blue cheese situation, and it just got all the remarks. And you know what? Again, double down on the dish that she says she loves to do. And I'm going to go home swinging, doing something that I love. And she made it through. Bailey has been probably the most redemptive, probably the most like amazing sort of story arc in this entire competition.
Tyrese Halliburton-esque. You call me most overrated? You don't think I can do it? I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it my way.
And I'm going to do it my way. I don't like the Tyrese Halliburton mention right now. A little too soon for me. But regardless of that.
True.
Regardless of that, she absolutely is just fearless in her flavors, her techniques. And that's something that I just love to see. Like, you know what you're going to get when you get Bailey. Fantastic arc. Like, whatever happens to Chef Bailey, if she wins, I mean, probably the most amazing sort of like,
biggest upset, I would say, mid-season.
Biggest upset ever, right? Like going to Last Chance Kitchen. We've seen chefs do that, make it out. But she went to Last Chance Kitchen so early in the game, so early in the season, and fought her way back in, and made amazing food.
I think Kevin Sprague is maybe the only one who hasn't won an individual challenge and then won the whole thing.
And won the whole thing. Yeah.
Because Bailey won a team challenge, a duo with Tristan.
Right.
When they did the Greek restaurant. And so she doesn't have an individual win on her ledger. Not even in quickfire. I don't think she's gotten a win in quickfire. So if she wins this whole thing,
incredible.
Incredible. I will be shocked that Tristan or Shuai doesn't win it, but Bailey is here for a reason. She beats out Cesar, who does that squash casserole with Mornay sauce, gorgonzola, with the sage pesto. Again, I think Too Clever by Half decides to do and pay homage. And I love the story behind it is that is Chef de Cuisine's dish and his recipe. It says, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him holding it down at my restaurant in Chicago. I love the story, but if you're going to do a gorgonzola dish, I think it has to be the star. And it seemed like the squash was the star on this one. And he did it 2 ways, which was really cool. But we're splitting hairs here. And Bailey wins. Bailey gets the vote from the chefs. We don't have a breakdown. It's not like a votes thing. And I thought it was interesting that we ended up getting rid of the Paralympians and Olympians for this final round of judging. So I do think the producers understood we don't want these amateurs deciding the fate in the final round to go on, but we do want them incorporated into this. And I don't know how they would have accounted for. I mean, maybe the move is like they do in the All-Star vote is you can't vote for your own team, you know, like you have a vote, but you can't vote for your, so that might've been the move is like, hey, 4 Olympians, you're going to vote, but you can't vote for your own person. That might've been interesting.
The wherewithal between the producers of the show and, obviously this is the second to last, sort of judging that happens in the season. And you really want the faces that we know and love, right? Tom, Gail, and Kristen going in and really kind of determining who the final 3 is going to be. So big shout out to T, Donine, Austin, and the rest of the production crew for just always thinking 3 steps ahead and really getting the best out of it. It was great to see the Olympians and the Paralympians in there, but I think when it comes to this final decision, who's making it to the finale, it needs to be from the trusted judges that we, sort of put our trust into as well.
Sad to see Cesar go.
Extremely, it is. I love sometimes, man, I was holding my breath and sometimes I'm just like, whew, a big exhale because Cesar essentially R&D'd half of his cooks, never cooking anything. I would love to go to a Cesar restaurant, any of his, joints. And he's maybe just like, you know what? This is what I feel like cooking today. Like, let's just go for it. Like there's
in
no
my
menu.
garden. Yeah.
This is what it is today. There's no menu. You just sit down and he cooks whatever. I'll be there front row and center because I love this sort of, I say avant-garde, but it's very much that, he just has this sort of whimsical approach to his food and, to cook in that style on national television time in and time out. We've seen it work in his favor and we see it not. And I think this is unfortunately one of those moments.
Came back from Last Chance Kitchen. Shout out to Cesar, an amazing run. I didn't even have like an Instagram account. He isn't like has a huge high profile nationally, but really, I think people should be lining up to go eat his food after this season of Top Chef.
And following him, and give him a follow as well.
Give him a follow on IG for sure. Shuai, 3 out of the last 4 elimination challenge victories. In the one that he hadn't won, he won the quick fire. So 4 straight episodes with a win. He's coming in here with Tristan has 80 points in our scoring system going into the finale. Shuai has 64. Bailey has 29. So it is a distant third for Bailey. It is a 2-horse race if we look at the standings in terms of points. Elimination challenge wins. Tristan has 4. Shuai has 3. Quickfire wins. Tristan has 2. Shuai has 2. In terms of lows, Tristan has 1. Shuai and Bailey both have 3. Of course, Bailey being in Last Chance Kitchen, so it wasn't there for all of the opportunities that Shuai and Tristan were to score on the scoreboard. But I'm excited, man. And we have a star-studded cast here for the finale. We got Richard Blaze Blaze is coming out for Top Chef finale. Gregory Gourdet, like you mentioned, is back. We also have Claire Smith, who is going to be, it looks like, on the judges table alongside Tom, Kristen, and Gail. And it looks like Gregory and Richard are going to kind of like be off to the side for the actual finale, like judges table. I'm already nervous. I'm really nervous. I can't wait to watch it over at Elmina. And yeah, the teams. Did you note who the teams are, who the sous chefs are, the sous for each of the eliminate? We got Lana back on Girl Power. They're wearing the same kind of bandana. They've got Bailey and Lana together. They got Tristan and Zubair. Zubair's back, baby.
I love it. I love that. You know, we talked about this a little bit yesterday as we were last week rather, as we were previewing this week's episode. And we talked about Lana being potentially someone that Tristan would go into or choose, or maybe Massimo. But Zubair comes out and really making a really bold appearance. I love that. I love Lana, seeing her with Bailey and kind of getting that girl power, that romance back in. I love that. And you know what also I love? Pressure. I love the fact that whoever wins, pressure makes diamonds. Whoever wins this next round, similar to this Top Chef, man, whoever wins the next round, this episode, this next cook, is taking home the fantasy champion. What are we calling this? Yeah. So
taking the Pack Your Knives fantasy trophy, taking it home.
You know what, man?
It's coming down because it's 148 Team Eric, 147 to Team Tom. So it's sudden death. It's whoever wins takes it all.
There's been some highs and some lows, man. You started off strong out the gate. I came back with a very strong second half. And then you, my friend, trailing behind and sort of just catching up when I thought I was running away with this. And now we literally have one episode to determine who's going home with this trophy. Crazy.
To all of our listeners, go book your reservation at Elmina. Come join us. Even though the watch parties are already sold out, come to the restaurant Thursday, June 12th. We will be there. Be there or be square. Join us for a meal, and then we'll do the watch party afterwards for our subscribers and our listeners who paid for those seats. Thank you for all the support this season. And Eric, it's going to be great to see you in person. And any last thoughts before we go into the finale next week?
Let's go Knicks. No,
Tristan, you want Tristan to be your head coach. Tristan, after you saw that cartwheel, you're like, oh, this guy can move. I feel like he's going to be the new Knicks head coach.
He's going to be the new Knicks head coach. No, man, I'm excited, man, just as you are. It's going to be great to see you. Great to see everyone, all the subscribers on Substack. And it's going to be a good night, man. It's going to be a great night. So we're ready.
Forgot to mention, Shuai is going to be with Paula. Paula, the Lexington, Kentucky chef, is coming out of her little hiatus along with Zubair. And Lana was only gone a couple of weeks ago, and she's back. So, Eric, I'm excited. We won't get an early look at this episode. We're going to watch it live. So I'm really excited for this.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. Thanks to all the listeners. Thanks to producer Maze. That was a tough episode. I was leaning on you for a lot there. So thank you, Maze, for your answers. I can't believe I didn't get King of the World. I'm King of the World. All right. This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Tom Haberstroh. That's Eric Ajapong. And we are out.
Peace.